Hello, I am Travis, COO of Passive Logic. Passive Logic is the first fully autonomous platform for buildings, rolled up into the one thing that every building requires, which is a control system. We not only automate automation, but we automate the whole building life cycle, from design, build, operate, maintain, and managing, all while saving 30% of building energy and democratizing automation for every building and every installer. Buildings are the most complex infrastructure in the economy. They are more complex than autonomous vehicles. They're more complex than industrial robotics. Yet controls are really dumb and really labor-intensive to implement. Passive Logic disrupts the automation industry with the first automation solution that truly understands buildings. We embed the intelligence of the engineers, the commissioning agents, the architects, all of these stakeholders into the controller, reducing the time to deploy by 90%, making us the first fully autonomous platform. Other solutions are stuck at a level 0 or a level 1. That's the equivalent in the vehicle world of being on cruise control. You can think of Passive Logic like the Tesla autopilot of buildings. And we reduce the time to deploy by 90%. There's a huge technology gap between Passive Logic and the other players that cannot be crossed. Their solutions aren't scalable and can never achieve full autonomy. Autonomous buildings are the biggest energy impact opportunity in the whole economy. Buildings use 41% of energy. 100% of those buildings require controls. Passive Logic saves 30% of that energy just through optimizing those controls. And that translates into a 1.2 gigaton carbon dioxide reduction globally, through a US lens, taking a third of the vehicles off of the road. From the incredible market traction we're having around the world, we can capture a large portion of the $22 billion building automation market that already exists. But what's really much more exciting is that because we make building automation accessible for the first time, we can grow that market just in North America and Europe to $138 billion. Passive Logic is all about technology inclusion. We're building AI technology for real people who are doing real dirty jobs making our buildings go. These men and women have been left behind by the technology revolution of the last 30 years. They're doing the virtually heroic work of making buildings like this one go using 1970s and 1980s technology. And yet, while the technology revolution has passed them by, they are the ones making the important controls, the purchasing decisions for controls. So our customers tell us that Passive Logic is the first company to walk in their doors who really understand their business problems and their market. And they have rewarded us by signing $112 million in customer agreements over the next 4 years. Our business model is really simple. We sell to the de facto customer, the installer. They buy our controllers and our zone licenses that bundled together offer a 92% margin. That's like getting 20 years worth of a subscription service up front. In addition, we become the gateway for all of the added services, both through the Passive Logic Cloud and through our growing network of third-party app store solutions that our platform enables. Our pro forma is based on the deal flow that we've signed since coming out of stealth mode only 5 months ago. We sell to a high-value industrial commercial market with parity pricing and those 92% margins. We've chosen not to monetize energy efficiency and instead monetize the core customer pain. And that's taken us to $100 million in revenues in the next 5 years. And based on our conversion rate and customer traction and enthusiasm, we expect to triple those signed agreements by the end of this year. We've built a team that brings together deep industry experience and a proven track record of execution. The senior team has collectively taken 30 products from concept to manufacture. Most notably, our CTO, Jeremy, who was a founding engineer at Fusion.io, grew his team from 5 to 900 through 5 generations of product to a $2 billion IPO. We're raising a $7 million Series A that will help us scale our rollout, enabling us to execute on that $112 million in signed customer agreements. So Passive Logic just came out of stealth mode. We didn't have time to get a booth at this year's ASHRAE conference. And yet, we were the buzz of the industry. There was standing room only at our presentations. We've gotten a whole host of requests for strategic partnerships coming from that event. And just this week, we've had inbound venture and M&A requests from many of the companies you see pictured on this slide. So the question for us isn't which way do we exit, it's how do we leverage this opportunity to have the biggest impact possible. So this conference is all about making an impact with capital. Passive Logic is filling a vacuum in a market that is desperate for solutions. Unlike most energy impact startups, we don't try to monetize efficiency. We give it to you whether you care about it or not. What we monetize is the core customer pain, and those customers have responded with an enthusiasm that is rarely seen in our industry. So I invite you today to join us in revolutionizing the built environment and taking advantage of the largest climate and energy impact opportunity. Thank you so very much, and I look forward to speaking with you at the reception later today.